What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Smooth Cat. He's back with Colossal Boxing Talk post fight show today. Introduce yourselves, fellas.
What up, YouTube? It's your boy Big Cool back with CBT.
What up, it's your boy Mouse, back home, Kentucky in the building.
All
Let's go.
right, we had a very action packed weekend of fights, and we had a robbery or so over the weekend too. In this fight, I wanna talk about one of the fights that I felt should have went the other way. Omar Figueroa versus Ricky Burns. I'll let you know what, Mouse, you ain't been on. I'll let Mouse start this off. What did you think of that fight?
I'm gonna let y'all go on that because I have not watched that fight yet. I'm gonna be honest.
All right, go ahead, be cool.
Well, I'm gonna let Mike you take it because I didn't catch it either, man. I was out, so I didn't catch the Ricky Burns Figueroa fight or the Campbell or what's his name Campbell Kamada fight. So you gotta take that.
Okay. Basically, what I was saying is, it was a very exciting, fun fight, but I felt that Ricky Burns had the advantage. He was boxing well behind his jab, landing nice combinations, and what Omar Figueroa was doing, he was throwing a lot of punches, but he wasn't landing with everything. But on the end, he was getting countered perfectly and everything. So I felt that I had Ricky Burns winning that fight. And I mean, when I heard the scores, I said to myself when the fight was in Texas, me and a few people I was talking to at that time, they were saying we all was saying that if Ricky Burns don't get a KO, he ain't gonna win no matter what he's doing. And it was proven yesterday. I mean, I felt those scores were bogus, and I felt that Ricky Burns should have won that fight. I felt he was the better. He established the better offense. He dictated the pace, and he landed the cleaner, more flashier shots. I mean, what else do you need to win a fight?
Yeah, but you said the fight was in Texas, correct?
Say it again.
You said the fight was in Texas.
Yes.
And so, I mean, now I'm not gonna sit here and say that it's kind of Ricky Burns, but it's kind of a bitter taste feeling because I mean when Beltran went into Ricky Burns' hometown and beat him, yeah, I mean convincingly they gave Ricky Burns the hometown favor. So I mean, when you fight out of your hometown, what it goes like. And Omar Figueroa is a Mexican, correct?
Right.
So being in Texas, that's almost home.
Agreed.
Yeah,
But
I agree with that.
I still felt that I felt that it was obvious that Ricky Burns won that fight to me. I felt he won. I really did, and I see I got a lot of people who actually agreed with me on that, and they had him winning as well. But
Uh,
it was, like I say, very exciting fight. I felt the wrong man won. Go ahead, be cool.
Let me ask you this, Mike. 'Cause I'll be honest. I'm not a big Ricky Burns fan. I think a lot of his wins were based on being at home. Being that Crawford and Beltran really dug into him, do you think that now seeing Omar Figueroa, in your opinion, is that Omar Figueroa lost? So is Omar Figueroa not a top guy at that division like people want to believe he is?
Absolutely not. I believe, and I mean, I have all the respect in the world for Omar Figueroa. I like his style; he's very exciting. But I believe Omar Figueroa he's an accident waiting to happen. I really believe so.
well, back to what Miguel was saying about Beltron getting robbed, and it's kind of like I guess karma. I don't want to. I don't see. It's still bad to set trends like that. You know what I'm saying? Because just because one fighter gets robbed, it's not. Even though I understand where he's coming from, it's not okay to say, well, he in Texas, and that's a primary Hispanic, population, it's okay to say, well, karma came back around because it's not like he was, scoring the fight. And if I'm correct, I think that Burns knew he defeated, knew he was defeated by Beltran, but there's nothing he can do. He can't just get a title away and say, well, I felt you lost, so here, take my title, because they're not gonna recognize him as the champion, regardless, huh?
Go ahead.
Regardless of what we all see as a fight. So I think that trend really needs to be broken. I think judges or these athletic commissions really need to reevaluate how they select their judges. Um, Really do a thorough and thorough background check to see, what it is, these judges are looking for in a fight or whatever. But like I said, man, it's still a bad trend, whether it's in Scotland, whether it's in America or wherever, man. The right guy should always win the fight.
I
Especially if
agree.
it's a clear, especially if it's a clear winner, like in the case Beltran over Burns and Burns over Figueroa, then you got to be really stupid or just a corrupt and see now judge to give it to the fighter that you see been beaten up. But when it's close fights and stuff like that, man, that's kind of splitting hairs. But I don't know, man. That sucks about boxing judges, man, because they it's up to them 9 times out of 10 to make the right decision. And as of late, man, last 2 3 years, 4 years, it's been nothing but bad decisions given out.
Agreed.
Agree. I agree with that, Terrell. I don't think they should be playing hometown favorites. But I mean, no matter where you go, I mean, it's always, you know, it don't even matter if you a champ or not. I mean, and you got to think about it. Golden Boy has really, because the Golden Boy is who manages Figueroa, no?
Al Heyman.
Al Heyman.
Oh, now he okay. So I mean, Heyman's not gonna let. You know what I mean? I mean, that's just it is very fucked up. You know what I mean? Like, and excuse my friends when I say that, but I mean, there's no, you can't uh you can't put any word of a lesser value than that with what goes on in boxing, because boxing is just that corrupted. It just seems like no matter what. I mean, it's whether it's America or Scotland or England or wherever. Unfortunately, until a good commission gets put together to really, fighters are gonna keep going through this situation.
True. You know what? Another thing too that I was thoroughly pissed off with about this fight was the referee. He allowed Omar Figueroa to come in head first, sitting there. I mean, throwing rabbit punch. He allowed Omar Figueroa to get away with murder. The referee was Lawrence Cole,
He
and
horrible.
as we know, Lawrence Cole he's very infamous for being a horrible ref, and his resume preceded himself yesterday. He did a horrible job of calling that fight. He really did. You can literally tell. I mean, it really seems as if he was in the pocket for anything to benefit Omar Figueroa, because he should have had a couple of fouls called on him yesterday. He really should have. So Lawrence Cole, you get the dumbass ref of the day award.
Well, he dumb. He dumb every day. He horrible. He a pathetic ass referee. He was the referee when I love me some Abner Mares, but he low blowed the shit out of. Was that him? Was he refing that fight,
Wait
or
a
did he
minute.
ref the rematch? Nah, that might have been Vic Dark. What's the motherfucking name? One of them.
Big
I'm
Dark
excuse my
King.
language. It's one of them mugs. Um, I know, man. All I know is that he was horrible. Lawrence Cole is the worst judge ever. He should be fired. He shouldn't even be able to referee a dang on, I don't know, a damn tic tac toe game. He horrible, man. He is horrible. And he ruins a lot of fights. Um, and shit, he just horrible, man. He sucks as a referee.
That's something boxing. That's why boxing needs a commission to regulate these kind of things. Because, I mean, I know every state has their own commission, but I mean, really, that's what really fucks up the sport. I think if we had just one big, you know,
Yep.
commission to really go through this, Because every state you go to, they have their own commission and they have their own set of rules and who they pick as refs and who they, pick as judges and stuff like that. And it's what really kills the sport, man.
Agreed. All
Yeah,
right.
one last thing, but Miguel, that's never gonna be, we not gonna never gonna have one commission because everybody want to feel like their rules are right and the way they do things is right. So that I agree with what you're saying, but that's like just like a pipe dream. That's just something we
Yeah.
can dream about tonight. That,
I mean, it's a power trip, I mean, boxing has always been like that. I mean, I think you would need to take like the fighters would need to take a stand. If fighters took a stand together, maybe there's something like like what the NFL does, where they have the players committee and stuff like that. I mean, things could be a whole lot better, but until fighters don't step up to take that stand, ain't nobody gonna take that stand for them. It's business, bro. I mean, them people, that's where the money gets made, is in those commissions and those promoters and stuff. Fighters don't see half of the money that they could be making. That's why I always salute Mayweather on taking the route he did. I don't salute the fights he picked or anything like that, but I mean, he's really what exposed a lot of this bullshit with the money situation.
Agreed. Agreed. He very intelligent. But what I will say is, I'm not sure if y'all saw this fight. The Jojo Diaz, his fight yesterday. He was in there with a very, very tough dude, and he sat there and he put on a boxing clinic. He looked real good. Did you guys get to catch it?
Man, I didn't catch that fight either, man. I'm slipping. I slipped yesterday, but I know you said something about it. Shit, I thought it was gonna be on. I don't know what I thought it was gonna be on, but you did say it was on FX. But I ain't get a chance to catch it. But I got the one we just talked about recorded.
You got what?
Uh,
What'd you say?
some popped up. I mean, some noise popped up, but nah, I ain't get to see the fight, man. But yeah, I heard he tore his bicep.
Now I actually, after the fight was over with, because I was watching it on Box Nation. Well, after the fight was over, they didn't play the when they went to interview him. They just left it alone. They were just hyping up Canelo versus Kirkland after that one. But like I said, he looked real good yesterday. He was very authoritative with everything, and kind of like how I mentioned on the video, if he sees he can't knock you out. He's very well adept and calm at outboxing you thoroughly. And he put on the clinic yesterday. He looked good. I don't get me, the guy he was fighting was very tough, but I cannot see how anybody gave him a round. I don't, because
Hey,
Diaz was destroying him to me. He was he was countering them perfectly, and he was leading off the attack with body shots, then go up top with hooks. He was landing at will.
hey, how many rounds was it? I mean, was the fight?
10.
So what's his record? 21 and 13, 21, 22 and 13. I mean, 22 and 0 with 13 knockouts.
It's something like that. I,
Nah, I'm thinking of old boy. I'm thinking of the Puerto Rican kid.
who you talking about, Verdejo?
Yeah, yeah, I'm thinking about his record. Okay, never mind, because I seen that.
I don't think he up there yet either. I think he like 14 or 15 and 0.
Yeah,
Who's
yeah,
that?
one of the 15 and 0 with 13 knockouts. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, yeah.
Verdejo.
Hey, Jojo Diaz, he showcased yesterday why he's one of the best. Why he's one of the best prospects in boxing today. He really did. He looked, like I said, he looked real good. He really very impressed. I was very impressed with him yesterday.
Yeah, I gotta check that out.
Okay.
What about
Let's
that
see.
Glenn Tapia?
Huh?
What about that Glenn Tapia fight?
Oh, all right. Well, start us off, be cool.
Well, man, Glenn Tapia. By the way, he look like a He like a mix between Channing Tatum and like a Hispanic dude. But anyway, off top, he James Kirkland pretty much ruined him in my opinion. I know people was on my thread saying no, they disagree, which I respect, but you know he didn't tie up when he was hurt. He squared himself up, and he just didn't show ring intelligence in there. Well, against what's his name, Sorrow, something
Toro.
like that. Yeah, Sorrow and Sorrow wasn't even a big puncher. I don't see Glenn Tapia's future being as bright as it once could have. Because for one, in his fight with Kirkland, his corner failed him. You know what I'm saying? They failed him and kept sending him out there. You know what I'm saying, to take more punishment, and pretty much that's where his downfall. He can't take a good punch. He might not be getting good work with Freddie Roach, who's supposedly being his trainer. Because Freddie Roach got every other fighter, top fighter in the world, not named Mayweather Award, and a few others. But I don't know, Glenn Tapia, man. He seemed confident after the defeat, saying he'll be back. But you know, I don't know, man.
I'll say this with that fight. What I saw like kind of like you said. I saw signs of Steve Tapia. He was in a situation where a lot of people kind of questioned his determination and his desire after he lost to James Kirkland. So he felt the need to show off an extra sense of bravado for some odd reason. Because, like you say, you saw when he was hit and he was buzzed a little. He could have grabbed Soro, but he was like, "Oh no, I'm gonna take these shots and I'm gonna show I can take a punch." And that's the reason why he got stopped because all he had to do was tie the man up, recuperate, then you go back on the attack. He seemed to me like he was trying to prove a point, and I mean his point definitely was not proven yet, on Friday.
Definitely, I agree.
I don't know. See, Glenn Tapia training with Roach now.
Yeah,
See, here's my problem with that. I don't think Glenn Tapia has lost his will to fight or that Kirkland destroyed him. I mean, Kirkland, took some away from him. Yeah, I'll give you that. I don't think he took enough away from him. I mean, whenever you get in those fights like that, take something away from you. But I just don't. Tapia got no defense whatsoever. I mean, he just gets hit. You know what I mean? And I mean, it's almost like Kirkland. He's almost like a younger Kirkland. I mean, and Wolf really implemented on, Kirkland and, worked on his defense and getting him more stronger. I don't think Freddie Roach is the guy for Tapia. I mean, Freddie Roach, his kind of fighters are offensive fighters, and Tapia, it's just, for me, it's just not. It goes beyond the will, the determination. It goes beyond whether he just gets hit way too much. You know what I mean? I mean, it's almost like they have to go back to the basics with him and work on his footwork and his defense and all that stuff, because until he gets that defense fixed, it don't matter who gets in there with him. They're going to rock his ass. You know what I mean? And
I'll say this. What I would like to see with
Rose is the guy for him. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you have to look at who you have in your corner in the first place and really, see if that fit is best for you. I mean, I know Freddie Roach is a renowned Hall of Fame trainer, but I mean, just because a guy's a Hall of Fame trainer doesn't always mesh out to be for your style.
True.
I mean, we literally have been seeing Freddie Roach's guys on the decline. I mean, with the exception of Cotto, and only because Cotto really, I mean, he fought Delvin Rodriguez, who's really a Friday night fighter. Yeah, I mean, who really should have never been in that ring with Cotto in the first place. And then they went up to fight Martinez, but really, they really made Martinez come down to fight Cotto. So, I mean, it's still questionable. As I give Cotto credit. I mean, he destroyed Martinez, but we still, they've given Cotto way too much credit with Freddie Roach. You know what I mean? I mean, I think Daniel Gill is going to be a bigger test than Martinez was.
I think Daniel Gill gonna beat him, but that's for another day. But Shit, I don't know. Well,
Oh,
Tapia probably is what he is. You know, he got good skills, decent speed. You know, good power. But he lacks um the I don't want to say intangibles, but the small things you got to do, the wherewithal to do, you know, when you're in trouble and things that can prolong a fight, so he can weather the storm. It's just like once he's hurt, his mind is everywhere. It's just everywhere except in the boxing ring, and his natural instinct is to fight, and he squares himself up, and you know, and he gets in trouble, he goes back to the ropes, and you know, he doesn't clinch, he doesn't grab, he doesn't take a knee. He doesn't run. He doesn't do none of that. You know what I'm saying? So, man, it's like he battling himself. So, I don't know. Hopefully, he can bounce back and have a solid career. But the way it's looking, man, he needs to get with somebody that's gonna teach him defense, like Mouse said, and you know, and they can be there to remind them, you know, the little things that count in a fight instead of just punches and all of that. You know what I'm saying?
I think honestly the perfect trainer for Glenn Tapia. Now this is gonna be funny because of kind of what she said. She said that she don't believe he could last in her training camp. I would love to see Glenn Tapia go to Aaron Wolf. I really would because of his style and the way he likes to fight and the way I know she'll push him. I'm wondering if he goes with her. Can she get him on Can she get him on a good enough run to possibly be back in the championship or the title picture?
Um,
Tapia is it's exactly what Jarrell said. I agree with. I think he is what he is, but I think you need a trainer that's gonna work on his strength and just he doesn't need to become a defensive boxer or a defensive technician, but give him subtle shit that will get him out of trouble. You know, teaching a guy how to clinch when he's in trouble, you know, doesn't take away from him being the next Muhammad Ali, but little things like that, you can still teach him at his point in his career. But they need to work on his strengths and really, you need a good, I mean, Mike Tyson had, how many, he was wild and, he wanted to knock out everybody and all this stuff. And he was a bad motherfucker, coming from where he came from. But Cuz, you need a strong guy like a Cuz to put that discipline in him and really show him that. Tapia needs that. He needs a trainer that's gonna be strong on him and push him to do that.
Yeah,
you know what? But you know what I think though. I think Ann Wolf is speaking of her. I think she's a much better trainer than people give her credit for. We just seen her with one top guy or one name guy in Kirkland. Now I believe she's capable because she was a hell of a fighter herself. You know what I'm saying? I believe she's capable of teaching the fundamentals and the technique. Maybe she can do something with Glenn Tapia because she's gonna challenge him mentally. That'll probably be the hardest fight. If they get together, in training camp with her will probably be the hardest thing he does in boxing. You know what I'm saying? Because even though in some of his fights, some of Kirkland's fights, she will give him good advice, but you can only teach you. You can only give what your guy or girl what's capable of doing. Because I'm pretty sure she tried to instill some more discipline in Kirkland when they were together. Because in certain fights, she was like, you got to give some head movement, step to the left or whatever, shoot the jab. So it's just a want to thing. You got to want to improve. And I think Tapia is the guy that he will he wants to be great. You know what I'm saying? And I think Ann Wolf, like I said, the toughest thing he'll do in his career is train with Ann Wolf. The rest of it will be easy. You know what I'm saying? Because she gonna hold you accountable, and pretty much I think she'll strip him down and teach him the basic things, and then build him back up if she decided to go that way. But Mouse, like you said, a custom auto type guy also can work wonders with him. It's all about how receptive the fighter's gonna be, to the advice being given out.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's the fighters. You know what I mean? Whatever, because these are grown men. They're gonna make their own decision. I mean, look at Kirkland. You know what I mean? She gave Kirkland all the tools to be great, and he made his choices. But I mean, I think Aaron Wolf would be great for Tapia. I think Tapia is a little bit more together than Kirkland. You know what I mean? In the sense of getting himself out of trouble and being more focused. But I mean, Um, but
Oh,
he needs to
yeah.
do something. He needs to sit down with his family and really evaluate his career and his camp because at his point in his career to be getting these beatings, I mean, you're looking at him getting to like 35 and not being able to talk.
Well, it's just been two. It's just been two. I know. When you fight Kirkland, it feel like you done fought 5 times, but it's only been
Yeah,
two beatings. You know what I'm
sometimes,
saying?
sometimes those two fights, man, take enough out of you to beat. You know what I mean? When you get into that, into that rhythm where you're banging them out. Yeah, I mean, it's two now. But you will put another fight, it's gonna be three. Then you put another fight, then it's gonna be four. You know what I'm saying? I mean, his family needs you need to take action before it gets to that point. Whether it's one or two. I mean, they need to really sit down because this dude that he was fighting was supposed to be. He was supposed to beat. I mean, Tapia was supposed to come out on top. Yeah, man.
Right.
Yeah.
He was in his
You
hometown.
I think Tapia can take it on himself. You know how people be criticizing holding and clinching. Maybe that's something he need to permanently implement in his game. If he can't take a punch like that or whatever, it ain't nothing. Whatever you do to win, what I'm saying, long as it's legal and not too excessive. What I'm saying, punch, throw your combos and hold. What I'm saying, if that got to get you through a fight, it might not be the most popular thing to watch, but if you're trying to prolong your career, you got to do whatever you can do to take as least punishment as you can in the ring, whether fans like it or not. Because at the end of the day, you got to live with yourself, and the
Absolutely.
possibilities of having brain damage or whatever.
And you know what? Touching on what you just said right there, because I agree 100% with you. Um, I think a lot of these fighters have stopped wanting to please these fans too. Cause see, fans ain't never pleased unless they get a knockout. I mean, the generation we live in now, unless you get an all-out war, yeah, they're not too happy with it. And a lot of these guys, especially at where Tapia is at, a lot of these guys that are
Shows
up
the
and coming.
passion.
They want to put too much on trying to prove to the fans so that fans will pay to watch them. But I mean, you take so much out of your career in the beginning, and then you never make it to the latter part of your career. And at the end of the day, that's your job. You gotta make this extend so you can make as much money for your family and for yourself in the long run. If you wear yourself out in 20 fights, I mean, after this, most boxers don't have nothing to do. I mean, you look at some of the greats, and you know what I mean, which some of them are like living on the streets and don't have money, bankrupt.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I
I
mean?
definitely agree. I definitely agree, man. You got to set yourself up for the. I never, I love I know we're going a little extended on this topic. I love a great slugfest as much as anybody, but if I was a fighter myself, I know the fight in me, I'd probably be in a few of them, but I just don't see how fun it can be just getting hit in the face like just with no regard. Like, you know what? I'm not gonna use a jab, a head movement, no foot move. I just don't see how fun that is getting hit in the head, man. Because I don't
You know,
know, man.
I'm okay with the whole slugfest thing. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing like a Hagler Hearn type fight. But I'm also okay with a guy, adapting. Like Keith Thurman does a really good job on that. Keith Thurman can either, beat you down, or if he needs to adapt, box you. You know what I mean? Like that's good. You get a little bit of both. But some of these guys have it in their brain that all they need to do is just, slug it out, and it really just kills their career
That's the
early.
guys I'm talking about. The ones that just like the Brandon Rios is the ones that just don't. They got kids and a wife, but just say, you know what? I'm gonna get in there anyway, and I'm gonna use my head as a my defense and hopefully hope for the best. But I don't know, man. Like I said, I don't mind the slugfest at all, but like, damn, I just be thinking about the fighters as a person. Like, shit,
Uh huh.
they gonna be fucked up, and man, who gonna be there to take care of them?
Yep.
They families. So that's kind of the reason, kind of like when you hear certain fighters say, well, it's okay to be fan friendly for the fighters. I mean, for the fans, but I mean, a lot of them they don't like to go to the extra mile. I actually can see why. That's like honestly, okay, that's like a Brandon Rios, the type of guy who comes out and says, getting hit in the face is better than sex. I mean,
Lies.
hey, he has one hell of a kinky way of thinking because I mean, me myself, like I say, I used to box myself, but getting hit in the face, it ain't never been entertaining to me. So I mean, I was the type of fighter I like to move my head, but everybody. In the case of Brandon Rios, you see he likes to get hit. He likes the contact, and like he said, he gets off to it. So I mean, more power to him. I mean, I do feel bad for him in the long run because, like you say, you know the results you're gonna get because I mean, when you fight those type of fights and you constantly in it, you're gonna be one of those guys the fans always remember. I'll give you that. You'll be that, but then you're gonna be the guy who I mean.
On Michael's
That's
Forgotten Fighters video.
Huh?
You gonna be the guy on Michael's next Forgotten Fighter video. His fans
Hey,
gonna move on past you.
Yep, Flossie.
I don't think people really understand. Like, I mean, even if you go back to the knockout guys, I mean, you look at Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson's defense was amazing. I mean, dude used to flip your punches and come back with an uppercut that you did not see coming at all. That peekaboo style for Mike Tyson was great. You know what I'm saying? You look at Roy Jones. Roy Jones had power, but he would slip from you and come back with a fucking hook that you did not see coming. Sugar Ray Leonard, Pernell Whitaker, Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, who had a mean left hook, had a hell of a defense. You know, a lot of fans, well, a lot of casual fans have thought that Gotti versus Ward, where there was no defense whatsoever, is what? That's the way to go. There's plenty of guys out there that were knocking people out that had great defenses. I mean, James Toney has one of the best defenses ever. You know what I mean? And he was knocking people the hell out. You know what I mean? Like, you can have both. You don't have to be a walking puncher bag just so that the fans will like you. You know what I mean? Roy Jones was entertaining. Sugar Ray Leonard was entertainment. Oscar De La Hoya was entertaining. You know, even Trinidad, he had subtle defense. You know what I mean? He wasn't the greatest defensive technician. You know what I mean? But he had, you know, subtle defensive moves, and he was knocking everybody the hell out. You know what I'm saying? So I think fans really need to look into the, you know, fight game before they go out and say, hey, you know, we need guys like Brandon Rios. Like, Brandon Rios, you know, salute the man, he's a warrior, yeah, but you don't have to go in there and take the punishment that you do, you know, just to get the fans to approve of you. You know what I mean? I mean, you got to go in there and fight your fight. You know, not every guy's going to stand right in front of you and wait for you to hit them.
See, in my opinion, y'all probably agree. Every fighter, in my opinion, is a warrior because hey, you step in the ring, you know what I'm saying? You know the consequences. Now, when you say, I guess, warrior with the fight, I'm not criticizing them, but I just think all fighters are warriors because you don't have to get in the ring, you know, and you still gonna get hit regardless of how good defensively you are because it just happens. But like I said, man, I just wish fans would care more for the fighters in that aspect of these are family men, fathers, you know, sons or whatever, and all at the end of the day, it's still gonna be the fighter's decision. But fans need to remember what they asked for, and when these fighters in messed up situations, make sure you keep saying a prayer for them or trying to write to them or their family or something. Don't forget about them because I know there's a lot of fighters that's been forgotten. That Smooth Cat got to remind people of whether they still hear waters or not. That, you know, you poo over because you got the next, you know, Vasil Lomachenko's and Walters coming up. So just you know, pay your thanks to these fighters for their entertainment that you wanted so bad.
Absolutely. The we're gonna have to go to the next topic. Let's see. The McDonald versus Kameda fight. Did either y'all see that one?
I just see Kamada knock him down. I seen Kamada knock McDonald down with a beautiful right hand, but I heard that Kamada was robbed. I don't know how true that was because some people were saying McDonald was more active, but I don't know really. You have to inform me on that.
I think that was a nail biter type of fight. I really do. I mean, me honestly, I tipped my hat to Kameda winning a very very close fight, but I can't be mad with with the judges who said that McDonald won because he did. I mean, it's like he did just enough to get by. So I mean, either guy could have won that fight, but I would like to see a rematch, and I think in a rematch, I think Kameda will be a lot more aggressive because he had to look at times he looked a little indecisive at times, and and the times when he was indecisive, he to me, if he would have put his foot on the gas and went harder, I think we'll be talking about a totally different fight. We'll be talking about Kameda winning if he would have done that, but he didn't do it. So I mean, you left a close fight in the hands of the judges, and McDonald was rewarded the winner. I mean, hopefully we see a rematch, but McDonald was the winner.
Yep. So I'm gonna check it out tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah. You guys catch the Austin Trout fight?
No.
I was actually at work during that fight.
Oh man,
I
Austin
know
Trout
James fight too. Never know.
looked really, really good his last couple of fights, man. Whatever he did after his last loss, man, whatever they've worked in his camp and over there, I mean, they've done a spectacular job with turning his career around. I mean, he's about. I mean, now it's time for him to really step back in the limelight and get off the Friday night fights and stuff and really step up back again with the top competition again because he's just been knocking people out. And remember, at one point, everybody thought he was Powder Puff fans.
Right.
Yeah, he got taken this competition. Not to poo-poo on here what he done because I like Austin Trout a lot. But you also got to take into account who he's been fighting, and what I'm saying. He did fight the dude that gave Willie Nelson a good fight. What's his name, Mike? That fought Willie Nelson on Friday Night Fight. That hurt Willie Nelson.
Some with a G, some Galarraga or something.
Yeah, Louis Gadrada, something like that, man. But anyway, Trout, man, I want to see him step up and take on maybe an Andrade or one of the Charlos or hell,
Uh-oh.
hell, take on Vance Martirosyan. I don't want. I hope that fight
I would
will be
like to see
done
that.
mundane, not huh?
I would like to see that fight. I really would. The Vannis versus Trout, because you know they got history from the amateurs.
Yeah.
You know what? I mean, go ahead.
No, or there's a lot of matchups out there. You can give him K9 if he want a title shot. You know what I'm saying? Shit, it's a lot of fights out there to be made, man. And hopefully, if he get on a good win streak, this is down the road. But he can start to try to avenge some of these defeats he had. Because you can argue that he deserves a rematch with either Canelo or Lira at the point and when the fight happened. Not now, but if he keeps winning, those fights will not the Lira fight, but the Canelo Alvarez. I think they can. I think they match up pretty well with each other. If you know what I'm saying. Even though Canelo still might get him, I think they could be like one of those underrated trilogy fights if Trout can get a win over Canelo, depending on how their careers play out. But I wouldn't sleep on those guys fighting again, and
I mean,
maybe him moving up to middleweight.
I know you gotta look at the competition, but I mean, he lost to Canelo, then he lost back to back to Lara, and I mean, they really were at a point, and where his team was really in a point where they felt, I mean, he really needed to go back to the drawing board. So although the last three guys he's fought haven't been at that competition where Canelo and Lara is at, it's a confidence booster. All those are confidence boosters, and even if they're lower level, knockouts help your confidence even more. I mean, especially a guy who's not known for knocking people out. So you got
Barry Hunter. And Barry Hunter being in your corner helps too, because that's my guy, Barry Hunter.
You got to believe that he's definitely feeling himself, you know what I'm saying, regardless of, and that's always good in a fighter. I mean, now, like I said, and like you said, he needs to step up and fight, a name, And if he gets that win with a name, I mean, then you're right. He has to look at, especially a Canelo rematch, because I really felt, you know what I mean, that to me was way closer than the judges had it. Shit, I had Trout winning. You know what I
I
mean?
had
But
Trout winning too, but I'm willing to rewatch the fight.
I didn't
I,
have Trout winning.
I had Trout winning,
It was
but I'm
close. I
willing.
agree with that.
Laura rematch. But I don't think he beat Laura. But I mean, it'd be good for him to try to avenge that loss.
It was more.
I can't see. I can't see him. I mean, I feel now. I feel with what Canelo has learned, with what Laura has been through. I feel that they'll both. I feel they'll both beat him again. Honestly.
I can't say that. I can't say that, man. I can't say that because like I said, Lara beat himself against Canelo, in my opinion. You know, whatever. And you can argue that in my opinion, Trout performed better against Canelo than Lara did. Although Lara made Canelo miss, Austin Trout took the fight to Canelo at times in that fight, although he was knocked down. He took the fight and performed better. That was like one of those fights on the edge of your seat. Canelo Lara, it was like, you know what? It was clear to me that Canelo won 7-5. You know what I'm saying? Because in the middle rounds, he took it to Lara, who just wouldn't let his hands go. If I'm being
After that
honest.
cut.
Yeah, because he was doing a lot of moving, running. You know what I'm saying? I'm just calling how I see it. I think that I wouldn't count out Trout against Alvarez because you never know when that fight is potentially made. You know what I'm saying? Because if he moves up to middleweight, you got Lemieux waiting on him. You got Golovkin. You got Quillin. You got all these guys that can do some damage to potentially affect Canelo and how he reacts towards. You know what I'm saying? Brutal fights change fighters. Put it like that.
Okay. Well, since we mentioned Canelo, we might as well go ahead and jump into the main event. Since we mentioned Canelo, so hey, Miles, let us know what you thought of the main event.
Hey, my bad, Mike. I still think Canelo will beat on Trout. You know what I mean? No matter what. But I think Trout will give Laura a better fight.
You're not wrong. I mean, whatever. You told me, hey, I didn't watch that fight, but you told me, man, you was disgusted because we was texting. You was like, man, Lara's stinking up the joint, man, with all his excess moving and stuff. So, hey, you tell me if he wasn't. You seen the fight? I haven't watched the fight yet, but you seen it. Was he running against Trout or not? I don't know.
Hey, man, I'll be honest with you.
He gave Trout their work. Honestly, he did. He could have beaten on Trout.
I thought Trout gave him a fight on, but it's hard when you fight somebody like Laura. I mean, is he really running or is he, you know what I mean, like?
Or is it you just missing?
I mean, I think Trout will give him a better fight now, but I still think Canelo will whoop Trout. I think Canelo will beat Trout more convincingly the second time around.
I agree.
Maybe.
I wholeheartedly agree. But like I say, to touch on the main event, what I saw yesterday. I mean, you know what? I catch a lot of people before the fight. They were finding ways to diminish the fight. Then once the fight happens, and I think Kirkland came out aggressive. The same people who were trying to find ways to diminish this fight. Oh, Kirkland got a chance, but as soon as Canelo started landing, oh man, this is a cherry pick fight, and he knew Kirkland hadn't fought in all this time. Well, I mean, if you look at it, Canelo had a long layoff too. So I mean, they both was coming off of layoffs because Canelo injured his ankle, if I'm exact. So they both were coming off of injuries.
Casual fans always say that, you know.
Absolutely.
When the fight was made, everybody thought it was a really good fight. Man, I still think it was a good fight. I mean, I think it would have been better if Kirkland would have had Ant Wolf in his corner. But even with
I think it ended the same.
In his corner, I thought it was still a great fight. What Kirkland brings to that ring is very rare that you find, bro. he brings a heart and a will that, you know what I mean. He gives any guy a tough fight anytime. I mean, the wars that he's been in, you know what I mean. Like, there's so many fights that people did not give him credit for that. You know what I mean. You look back at it now and you're like, yo, this dude deserves that. You know what I mean. So I mean, that was a tough fight for Canelo. I don't.
He hurt Canelo a little bit in the first round. You know what I'm saying? He got to him, man. I'm gonna finish letting you go, Miles, before I really give you my take on what I thought, because I paid close attention to this fight. You know, so let me let you finish.
I remember everybody dissing Canelo for fighting 47-pound fighters, and him not fighting his weight class. The guy moves up, and people still want to criticize the dude, and he's fighting guys that are at that weight class, and Kirkland is not apart. You know what I'm saying? So we got to get to a point where we got to start giving these guys credit. Nobody saw that was a pure destruction. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Kirkland put up a fight for the first round, but after that first round, those body shots accumulated for Canelo really well. And, man, he was throwing shots from angles. That uppercut he threw, man, he's getting better every time he gets in that ring. Now you're seeing that Canelo's not looking so robotic as he did when he fought Floyd. You know what I mean? Now you're starting to see him use different angles, and, man, his punches are just being put together really well. I mean, I know when he fought Angulo, we said that his punches, he was putting his punches really well, but he just seemed so much better and so much more comfortable in that ring last night than he did when he fought Angulo. I mean, the way he sits on his punches now and everything, it's flowing really, really nice for him.
You know what? Kind of what I saw. I think JG mentioned this, but I was kind of thinking it anyways, that Canelo it's like he's finally got a hold to his grown man strength now, because I mean, don't get me wrong. Now Kirkland has been dropped, but Kirkland always gets up. But as soon as Canelo threw that right hand in that third round, I knew it was over. I mean, instantly. I mean, the way Kirkland did this, I said that's over. He's out. I mean, I can say it like this. A lot of people did come out and they expected Canelo to win that fight by knockout. True. But Canelo Alvarez in that fight, he showcased good defense that got ignored. Nobody paid attention to that. That he was rolling shots and countering effectively. Also, with the body work, he landed some thud and brutal shots. Hell, he hit Kirkland with one shot. You could actually see it hurted Kirkland, because he quenched up right after Canelo hit him with the left hook to the body. It was a fight. That was a fight where Canelo showed to people that I'm ready for I'm ready for anything. I'm ready for any style. I faced all the styles out there. So Kirkland, like I say, the first a minute and so of the fight, in the first round, he was doing he actually did some good things, but after that it became target practice, and Canelo was just like, he was really putting it on him. I honestly was one of the people who felt the fight should have been stopped in the first round. Go ahead, be cool.
Well, this might be it's not gonna be too long, but I'm gonna tell you what I thought. First off, because watching it, the finishing punch, it was a la Tommy Hearns versus Roberto Duran. How he faded to the body with the jab, and he came up top with the right hand. Both of them was brutal knockouts, beautiful. I love how both guys set that up, just to point that out, you know what I'm saying? But from what I seen in the fight, I'm a big Canelo fan now, but being a realist, I believe he can pretty much beat every type of fighter, but, he's still going to have problems with boxers. We're going to just be honest. We all know he's going to still have problems. I'm not saying he can't beat a boxer, because he can. He beat Lera. And but he struggled with Trout and Lera, and we see what happened with Floyd. So we're gonna always mark that down as we know he's gonna struggle with boxers, but he's capable of beating them. I'm really convinced that he can beat. I know I'm gonna say it, Mike. All y'all, I'm gonna get criticized, but I believe he can beat Golovkin. I believe that.
Oh, oh.
I, I, I ain't saying he will beat him. I said he. I believe going into that fight. I look at it as a 55-45, advantage for
Hello.
Golovkin, over Canelo. And let's be real, Canelo's last 10 opponents has been better than what Golovkin has faced. Am I right?
True, true.
He's consistently challenged himself, maybe because you look at him as being young and kind of robotic early on in his career, and he was stiff and whatnot. But for whatever reason, you know, he's willing. I'm not saying Golovkin is not willing, but you know, Canelo has made certain concessions to fight these guys. He came in at a catchweight to fight oh boy, Floyd Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? He fought Lira when he didn't have to. He fought Trout when he didn't have to. He's been calling these guys out, you know what I'm saying, and been doing pretty well, you know. But what I noticed last night is that, he's a tremendous fighter. His punch placement is getting better and better. He was able to think in the midst of a brawl against Kirkland, where a lot of fighters would just say, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna just swing for the fences and hope that I land and knock this guy out. He's constantly improving. Um, he weathered the early storm in the first round that I felt he got hurt just a little bit, by Kirkland. And one thing I do notice though, this is not a negative thing. I'm not calling any, conspiracy theory, but the momentum started to change in my opinion. Man, I got to go back and rewatch the fight, but when the referee broke them up, that's when Canelo really got going. You know what I'm saying? Because up until that point, that was all Kirkland's round. He might have been missing a lot of shots, but he was being aggressive, landing some nice body shots. Splitting the guard a Canelo here and there. But once the referee broke that up, broke them out of the clinch, it was all downhill for Kirkland. And what I noticed in Kirkland, man, he was just sloppy technique wise. His feet, he didn't give himself a proper chance to, be effective with his punches. He smothered his own punches, even though he fights like that. He smothered himself. When he did get Canelo on the ropes, he didn't jab to try to set up some body shots or some shots upstairs. He just came in and, put his head in the chest. It wasn't effective, man. He was just a lot of wasted energy. And I believe Ann Wolf could have made the fight a little more competitive. I'm not saying he would have won because I believe he would have got knocked out regardless. But she would have gave him the subtle changes that he could have, did to prolong the fight and make it more interesting and more competitive. But, it is what it is. Kirkland's a limited fighter who will be back and produce a lot of more fireworks. But Canelo Golovkin needs to happen ASAP. I really that fight right there is the fight that'll really get people excited because it will live up to the hype, man. I believe.
You know what?
Canelo's young, man, and Golovkin is getting old. He'll be 35 or 34 if they fight. 35 whenever they fight. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And Golovkin, Canelo is strong, fast, young, and can box. You know what I'm saying? And that could cause problems for Golovkin. Depends on when they fight, and and where who they fought in between time. But hope I ain't rumble too much. Y'all understand what I was trying to say. But put it like this. My brother Canelo Alvarez is a beast, and James Kirkland, you're a beast too. But go back to Ann Wolf, man, and fight Lara. I like seeing fight Lara next or some shit like that. See how Lara deal with that.
I think Lara will knock him out too. But
I don't know.
I don't know about that.
I'm gonna say right now if that fight happens. But I will say this: Canelo definitely did put the boxing world on notice. He really since that Floyd fight, he's really evolved as a fighter. Yeah, before that fight, people called him robotic. Yeah, people said he was predictable. People said, bro, last night, he fucking showed so many different angles. His footwork has improved. His defense is better. He's rolling punches a whole lot better. Shit, he's countering better. He's hitting with way more power. You know what I'm saying? I think he's finally reaching the weight, his comfortable weight. You know what I mean? The only problem I have with him and Golovkin is when he fought Cotto's
brother, his older brother.
Cotto's brother. Cotto's brother. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know how he's gonna deal with a 160-pound fighter's power. If he can hold up to Golovkin's power, I think he can give him a fight. You know what I mean? Because he does have the boxing skills to hang with Golovkin. But if he can't handle that power, bro, it's night time.
I worry about the power to the body more so than up top. You know, I worry about the body shots of Golovkin more so than the head shots. If they fight or when they fight, hopefully they fight. You know what I'm saying? Shit, cause Kirkland hit you know, Canelo with some body shots. I know he felt them. You know what I'm saying? And you going against a guy that can pressure you intelligently. You know, he has nice technique, real fundamental, and he's a precise, you know, body puncher, man, and you know he can do a lot of damage. But Golovkin don't always like fighting on going backwards. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And the speed of Canelo and the strength can push you know Golovkin back, and he shouldn't be on the ropes either. You know what I'm saying? Both neither this is a fight. Neither guy should be on the ropes because it doesn't bode well for either one. Because both guys are terrific body punchers. You know what I'm saying? But all right, let me ask you this quick question, Smooth Cat. Who do you think is the more skillful fighter?
Oh, wait. You know what? Honestly, I'll say this. I'm gonna have to do it by category instead of just overall out. Okay, ring generalship, Gennady Golovkin. Let me see. Oh, they both put punches together well, so I'll call that a tie. Canelo Alvarez has far better. He moves his head better. I give him the advantage there. Gennady Golovkin, they both roll punches good, even though people ignore it when they see it from Golovkin. Let me see. They both good body punches, but I give Golovkin. I'll give him the edge in that department. I know Canelo is faster, so he gets the edge there, and Canelo uses feints better, but Gennady Golovkin his probes and the feints they like even. It's one of it's a hard call for me. But what I will say is this, and y'all can mark this down. In 2012, I was telling people the next super fight after Mayweather Pacquiao, if it ever would happen, since it happened already, the next super fight would be Gennady Golovkin versus Canelo Alvarez. And this fight, I mean, because it's a lot of people who feel Mayweather Pacquiao didn't live up to the expectations because people wanted to see a toe-to-toe brawl, which is you should have knew before going in that wasn't going to happen. But in the case with this fight, with Golovkin versus Canelo Alvarez, you get two guys who like to fight, who they both throw caution to the wind. They both are good defensively, but to please the fans, they will sit in there and take some shots. But they're not gonna get stupid. They're not gonna take three, four, five shots in a row. They might take one or two, and then next thing you know, they start moving, doing little subtle things. But this fight, um, it needs to be built properly, and the way to properly build this fight is hopefully Miguel Cotto takes care of business in June against Daniel Gill, because if he takes care of business against Daniel Gill, then you get Canelo versus Cotto. And let's say Canelo beats Cotto. Okay, let's say Golovkin beats Willie Monroe. Then he goes on to face Andy Lee. Let's say he beats Andy Lee. Toward the end of the year, he goes and fights the Lemieux and Dom winner. He wins that fight. Next year, you could have a fight that could truly decide who's the man at 160, and you'll have Canelo who could possibly be the WBC champion and the Ring Magazine champion, going up against the guy who everyone feels is the most dominant force in the middleweight division, and Gennady Golovkin, who will have all the other belts. So the winner of that fight would be the undisputed champion at 160.
Hey,
And like I say, pay per view wise, honestly, I mean, that's a fight that honestly, not to keep like throwing shots at Mayweather Pacquiao, but that's a fight I know. I know a lot of people would be willing to pay $100 to see that fight because you got guaranteed action that you're going to see in that one. You're going to see two highly skilled hybrid boxers against each other, and the best man will win. And but you are going to see some toe to toe exchanges. You know, for sure.
hey, how tall is Canelo?
5 foot, like 5'8", 5. Like you know what? He's shorter than. I think he might be. I think he's shorter than Floyd. He might be 5'8", maybe a little 5'7" or something like that.
How tall is Golovkin?
Golovkin is 5'10".
Oh shit. Okay. I had a crazy thought in my mind. I ain't gonna speak it because I feel that this fight would try to get it would get forced. Depending on who won the Golovkin Canelo fight. If Mike, if you follow my train of thought, I think you'll catch on what I was about to say. You know what I'm saying? If they want that mega fight for that other guy that's been mentioned, that's been linked with Golovkin, but I'm not gonna say that because that's probably too far fetched. But you know,
Hey, I
you know,
mean,
so
if Canelo Alvarez beats Gennady Golovkin and he want to move up to fight Mr. SOG, then I mean, hey, I'm sure people will tune into it.
I was just thinking that I didn't want to say it because I didn't want to sound crazy, but that just kind of correlates with the whole HBO Rock Nation thing, and you know Andre Ward already making big money. Why not make bigger money? You know, facing the guy that could, you know, bring that pay per view or make him a pay per view star. I
Right.
guess if you want to say that because he's proven on pay per view. But hey, that's I don't wish that on Canelo. I don't wish that one on Canelo. I definitely don't wish because just as far as the boxing skill, you know. But hey, we ain't gonna speak on that fight. That ain't gonna happen. But it
Hey,
was just a
wait, but can you imagine this? Can you imagine if Canelo Alvarez beat? I'm not saying he can, so don't put nothing in no comment section saying I said he said it. But imagine if Canelo Alvarez was to beat Andre Ward. Imagine what that would do for his career.
shit. Dude, that'll be if after he beat Golovkin, right? You saying he didn't beat Golovkin, unify
I,
the division?
I'm saying if he beats Golovkin, then go and beat Andre Ward. Hell, I mean he can retire after that. Honestly,
Yeah, oh shit, yeah, he Hall of Fame. Like that's just off the damn. That would be a huge, you know, a huge feat of being the first man to give Ward his loss. Man, an Olympic gold medalist, a future Hall of Famer. You know, one of the greatest fighters ever. Shit, you know what I'm saying? But hey, Ward got to fight, man. But you know, but just a thought, man. I thought that I think that could be something because we done seen some crazy matchups before. You know what I'm
absolutely.
saying? Where we never thought they'd fight. You know, Pacquiao, De La Hoya. You know what I'm saying? So she, but you know,
Okay,
I'm excited about the future of boxing, man.
me
After
too.
these two guys, exit gracefully out of the sport, man. So it's
I
gonna
have
be
a question
huge.
for both of y'all, since y'all touched on this subject. All right, I know everybody says the fight didn't live up to what the expectation was of the fight of the century or whatever. But I mean, honestly, do you think that in 2009 this fight would have been any different? Besides maybe Pacquiao throwing a couple more punches?
You know
No.
what? I think in 2009, I think it could have been. I think it could have been a lot different. To be honest, I really do. But I mean, I still will have the same guy winning. But I believe it still could have been a lot different because at that time, I think 2009. I think that was like Pacquiao's peak year. I really believe that was the year where it's like, oh, okay, he reached the plateau, and it was like, okay, I mean, that's like now. I mean, believe it or not, Manny Pacquiao still can beat a lot of top notch welterweights. The thing is, he wasn't physically or mentally in depth to be able to beat Floyd Mayweather, and I mean, that's not a it's not an easy task to beat Floyd Mayweather, because if it was an easy task, I mean, a lot of people would have done it by now.
You know how I look at it, man. I don't think the fight. Yeah, you say it'd be different in a lot of ways, but to me, witnessing what we witnessed last week, and I just think that Floyd would have dominated him even worse. You know what I'm saying? Because Floyd, if you going prime for prime, Floyd still looked good last week. We know he looked great. You know what I'm saying in 2009. You know, Cotto gave Manny Pacquiao problems in the first 3 rounds. He was touching him up, and that was post Margarito. You know what I'm saying? So imagine what a sharpshooter like Floyd, 5 years younger, 6 years younger, would have done to Manny Pacquiao. I know Manny Pacquiao was in his peak, like Smooth Cat said, but you know, skill wise, it's just not there. It's just not, and he's too intelligent. He's not one of those like Tim Bradley fighters that has great skill, but can be suckered into one of these, firefights. And
Right.
so I don't really look at it as there's anything Manny Pacquiao could have done differently because Floyd Mayweather was the best fighter then, still is the best fighter now. He was younger, quicker, and I don't know, man. Pacquiao he could have potentially really got knocked out, because that's when he was really ultra aggressive, back in '09. You know what I'm saying? So,
Oh hell no.
what-
I mean, I couldn't see that happening. I mean, hey, I respect the hell out of Mayweather, but no,
you don't think he knocked him out?
nope,
I say he could have knocked him out because when
no,
I say that is
no,
because Manny Pacquiao was coming forward.
right.
He was coming forward a lot back then. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying Mayweather would have walked him down and knocked him out like that, but I'm saying he would have caught him with something and could potentially knocked him out because
Oh,
Manny
oh,
Pacquiao.
I like the sound of that better.
Yeah, I said the first time I think, but if I didn't, then my fault. But no man. And another thing, I wasn't disappointed in the fight itself. I was disappointed in the undercard. You know what I'm saying? Because
Oh man,
people criticizing it like you got hardcore fans criticizing saying he was running, but what the hell did you think? You know what I'm saying? What did you think? For one, he didn't run. But what did you think he was gonna fight like Ward and Gotti? You knew before the fight was even signed or once it was signed that Floyd was gonna fight his fight and it was gonna be up to Manny to bring the true greatness or
right,
offensive greatness out of Floyd Mayweather and whether he had a torn rotator cuff or not. He didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? He
agree.
simply didn't do that. And now everybody got excuses for Manny Pacquiao and criticizing Floyd saying, well, Floyd ducking a rematch or I see Skip Bayless dumbass saying Floyd ducking a rematch because at
Oh
39 years
man,
old, a healthy Pacquiao would destroy him. Like, shut the fuck up.
like
I don't know, man.
I just I feel like this honestly. I don't want to give too much time to Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather than they too much deserve, because
Yeah,
I think they have had enough time. But I
yeah,
can say this to kind of touch on the guys from this weekend and who you want to see them fight. Me, I would love to see. I think the perfect test for Omar Figueroa would be Amir Imam. I really do for 140. I would like to see that fight because, as we know, Figueroa he's going to challenge Imam as well because he's always on the attack. He's always coming forward, always throwing punches. So that'll be a great. That'll be like a fight that'll let you know kind of exactly where Imam is at amongst the top 140 guys, because they claim Figueroa to be a top 140 guy. Myself, I don't agree with that sentiment, but that's for another thing. But who would you like to see Figueroa fight next? Be cool.
did his power translate up to 140? I mean, did his power look effective yesterday?
He, he looked okay. It didn't look the same way it looked when he catch you flush at 135. But he looked like he still can pop.
Yeah, Miramon beat his ass. That's a fight that Miramon shouldn't even think about trading. He shouldn't even think about trading that fight. You know what? He should just stay behind the jab. spin Figueroa, let the combos go, work the body, and coast to a decision, or potentially stop him. Nah, that ain't a fight. That's a BS fight. He don't need to fight him. Figueroa scrub, man. Figueroa's the
But
scrub
they got Figueroa ranked above him.
because they scrubs too. Whoever ranked them, they scrubs too. The eye test, the eye test tells us otherwise. You
Absolutely.
put it like this: Amir Mon would have blasted Ricky Burns in 5 rounds or less.
Mm.
He would have smoked his ass, took him out, dumped him in the trash can, and went on about his business. You know what I'm saying? If you're a top
Yeah.
140 pounder, you don't struggle with Ricky Burns. Not this Ricky Burns anyway. So for Omar Figueroa, I like to see him face shit. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't see who it is he can beat. You know what I'm
Maldonado.
saying? Who?
Maldonado. I would like to see that too.
Maldonado. Well, what I seen from Maldonado, he'll blast Figueroa's ass out.
But
I know
see, those
Maldonado
two,
got some shit.
they actually they were beefing on Facebook. I remember seeing that. So I would like to see them two get in there and trade them too.
I know, cause look, he Maldonado, even though he got knocked out by he did hold his own. He did knock down, and it wasn't no BS knockdown or nothing like that. It was a
Right.
clear, you felt my power, dog type punch. If he can stay disciplined, Maldonado, he can beat Figueroa. Cause see, the Japanese fighter, what's his name? I ain't gonna try to pronounce his name. It started
Oh,
with Ado.
I forgot his name. Thinking about you got me. What is
Ari, Ariwawa. I don't know, man.
yeah, Arawego or something.
Anyway, he hurt him. He hurt him, and he can't punch a. He can't punch a lick. If he had power in that fight, which was a great fight, Figueroa would have been out of there. So man, maybe he could fight Maldonado or shit. Who he with? Golden Boy.
No, Figueroa is Al Heyman.
Shit. Well, I don't really know who. It's some other guys out there, man, that he can possibly fight. Who? Maybe he can fight Emmanuel Taylor if the Taylor, win his upcoming fight or whatever, or Kareem Mayfield, or
Ooh, hey,
huh?
that would be fun. It would be fun because it'll have action. But Figueroa, he would have to keep Mayfield off of him because Mayfield gonna try to smother him.
Yeah, and who else he could potentially face? Shit, he can face hell Delorme if he go. Yeah, he can face Delorme. I mean, they top ranked. Never mind. I don't know if they're gonna work, but
Right.
just games out there because they battle him. Nah, well, Delorme better than him, but not by that much. Well, yeah, he is. But yeah, Kareem Mayfield, Emmanuel Taylor. You know, that's probably pretty much it. I guess.
Okay. All right.
Ricky
Now,
Bobby, man.
who would you like to see? What? Okay, I want to see Canelo versus Cotto. I think that's a big fight too. Who would you like to see Canelo fight next?
The only reason I want to see Canelo Cotto is because of action, but I don't feel that anybody should be getting a shot at Cotto before Golovkin. It has not nothing negative towards Canelo. I just don't think it's right whether he's a bigger draw or not. He hadn't done jack squat shit in the middleweight division to step above or step in front of Golovkin. That shit right there is just unfair. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to see that fight just because it's a disservice to Golovkin, who been knocking out guys and in the middleweight division, trying to get a fight with first it was Martinez. Martinez didn't want it, and now it's Cotto. It's like they just avoiding. They just fighting the next guy that can bring them a payday to prolong the what is true to come to him, which is an ass whooping by Golovkin. But that fight right there, that's just me. It disgusts me because, like I said, Golovkin should be fighting for that title next. But if Canelo gonna fight next, I mean, fight Cotto, it might as well. I guess that's the fight I would like to see. Even though that can be another fight that doesn't live up to the hype because Cotto, I mean, because Cotto get blasted out of there. So um, I'm just saying, man, it's true. He lose to
Hey,
he gonna lose to.
I'm in agreement with you.
So I hope people don't be saying, "Oh man, it's gonna be a great fight." It could be or it couldn't be because I thought Martinez was gonna whoop the hell out of Cotto. That didn't happen.
Right.
But I tell you what. Canelo gonna spark out Cotto, and I ain't gonna order that pay-per-view. I tell you that. I'm gonna stream that one. I'm for real, man. Like for people, see people, man. They don't. It's like sometimes you don't. I don't know how to identify what could be, what's gonna be a solid matchup and what's not. I could be
Right.
completely wrong about the fight, but looking at it, dude, he's been off a year, Cotto, or will be a year, shy of a year when he come back in the ring because he fighting June 6th. He won the title on June 7th last year, but he's gonna be coming off a year rest basically, of inactivity, going against a guy who isn't a guaranteed W in my opinion. I think Gill's gonna win, but get robbed by the judges. But then you turn around September, October to fight Canelo, who is hungry and really want to whoop your ass for the negotiation, the first round of failed negotiation, man. It just doesn't bode well for Cotto. So I don't know, man. I like to see Canelo face Lemieux next though, or Andy Lee. Well,
Oh man, I would love both of those fights.
damn, Andy Lee versus Andy. Nah, I like to see Lemieux. I think that's more of an explosive fight. Andy Lee
No,
is a
that's
tricky
true.
fight for Andy Lee is a tricky fight for Canelo because of his reach and because he does have the boxing ability and he has that power and a sneaky right hook. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
that's a tricky fight. Even though I think Canelo win, it's a tricky fight though because you know Lee has shown some real grit, as of late, man, and he's really turned the corner and really is becoming, one of the elite guys at 160. So that's
Absolutely.
a competitive fight, man, and that's a fight that's a fresh matchup. You know what I'm saying? Something we need in boxing. We don't need these rerun fights, but you know, Lemieux or Lee next, it'd be fine with me. But I know he getting Cotto if Cotto wins, so that's what we be expecting in the fall.
Okay. With that being said, I want to thank you to all the people who are currently viewing this show tonight. We're not gonna prolong it any longer. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for rocking with Colossal Boxing Talk as you guys have always done. And like I say, hit the like button, leave comments in the comment section. We'll definitely get back to you at our earliest convenience. Thanks for all the support. Thanks for the comments. Shout out to Mr. Boxing Addict. Because I see you were tuning in live every topic we were talking about. He was commenting on it, so shout out to Mr. Boxing Addict, and shout out to all our subscribers. We appreciate every last one, every last one of y'all. We appreciate you. Shout out to Remley too.
Yeah, shout out to Ramlet, Mr. Boxing Addict, everybody that supports us. Tell a friend to tell a friend to come check out Colossal Boxing Talk and hit the subscribe button. Check out all our old videos, old interviews, breakdowns, our new one. Check out our work on 8 Count News. Shout out to Brad Cooney for bringing us on over there. And expect us to be at these fights soon. I'm expected to be covering the Deontay Wilder Eric Molina fight. I believe if that's finalized, and I know Mike will most likely be at the Lara Rodriguez fight. So expect some content from those things, man, and as we take it to the next level and continue to support us, man, because we do it for y'all and we really are grateful for y'all support, man, and it means a lot. So keep rocking with us, and we're gonna keep dishing out great content.
Absolutely. And with that being said,
Be cool out.
and Smooth Cat is out too, in my big cool voice. Peace.